Hey everyone, I'm on a special live stream to discuss an action that I have only seen one other time in my life, the firing of the FBI director by the President of the United States. In this case, Donald Trump fired James Comey just about roughly now an hour and 10 minutes ago, although it seems like a day already. And I'm on the White House press list, and I want to send a shout out, a thank you very, very much to the person on the White House pool for the all the representing all the people who are on the White House press list. And let me center this just a little bit more, write this just a little bit more. But give them the appropriate shout out. That's better. But I want to thank very much Dan Friedman of Hearst newspaper's Washington Bureau for making sure that the rest of us on the White House press list got the letters that were distributed via the White House press office led by Sean Spicer. So I have taken those letters and I put them on script for you right now. What I'm going to do, my next action, will be to take the letters that I'm talking to you about, or at least the link to them that I've uploaded to Scribd, okay? And I'm doing that right now, copying, and I'm going to paste them into the description area of this live stream video for you. I'm going now to the watch page, both to check the stream, which should be good, and then post the link so that you can have a look at the letters, but I'm also going to save you some time and read them to you, and then start what will be a fascinating discussion. And this is wow, this is beyond anything I have seen in a long, long time. And the last time it happened, I wasn't really old enough to understand the true significance of what was going on. This is completely different, and I mean completely different. So what happened is that first, what I'm doing right now is I am putting in the metadata associated with this video, and now I am putting in first the Comey letters link here, right there. And so, and then I'm taking the title itself, Nixon-Like move, and then putting Comey letters, live stream. And so I'm taking this entire title and copy pasting it into, select all, copy, paste into the overall description area for this live stream, and then pressing save changes. I'm doing that. Thank you very much for the likes, folks. That's very much appreciated here. And voila, they are there. And Barry Lee, thank you, Barry Lee, and Golden State Raiders salute. And Barry Lee says, I'm not surprised because Trump is trying to stop any investigation into Russia, even though it won't work. So let me start by reading to you the emails, the letters, excuse me, that I was just sent, thanks to the gentleman from Hearst Corporation Washington Bureau, and we can go from there. And Tanner says, is any Fox News at a graphic says FBI Director Comey resigns, how can they blatantly lie to their viewers? Wow, they wrote that? Oh, hey, can you screenshot that, Tanner, and send that to me by email, zenny@zenny62.com, if you're able to, DVR back that and put that out. That is, now if they got that in some sort of adjustment from President Trump, that's more news. If that's some sort of effort to, sweep or cover up what's happening, that's even more news. Okay, that's something else. That is shocking, to say the least. Now, let me go back, and I'm going to find the letters here. Uploaded document by script and view. And I'll start by reading the letters. First with a letter that I received from the White House. It goes in order from the White House announcement, May 29, 2017. Statement from Press Secretary. Today, President Donald J. Trump informed FBI Director James Comey that he had been terminated and removed from office. President Trump acted based on the clear recommendations of both Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The FBI, this is a quote from the Press Secretary, ostensibly from President Trump. The FBI is one of our nation's most cherished and respected institutions, and today will mark a new beginning for our crown jewel of law enforcement, said President Trump. A search for a new permanent director, FBI director, will begin immediately. That's the first letter. The second one is from the White House, and this is directly to Director Comey from President Trump, and it reads as follows. Dear Director Comey, I have received the attached letters from the Attorney General and a Deputy Attorney General of the United States recommending your dismissal as the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I have accepted their recommendations, and you are hereby terminated and removed from office effective immediately. While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you are not able to effectively lead the Bureau. It is essential that we find new leadership for the FBI that restores public trust and confidence in its vital law enforcement mission. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Signed, Donald J. Trump, in his typically unusual signature. Now, the next letter comes from the Office of the Attorney General, and President Donald J. Trump, the White House, Washington, D.C., zip code 20500, and it reads as follows. Dear Mr. President, as Attorney General, I am committed to a high level of discipline, integrity, and the rule of law to the Department of Justice, an institution that I deeply respect. Based on my evaluation, and for the reasons expressed by the Deputy Attorney General in the attached memorandum, I have concluded that a fresh start is needed at the leadership of the FBI. It is essential that this Department of Justice clearly reaffirms its commitment to long-standing principles that ensure the integrity and fairness of federal investigations and prosecutions. The Director of the FBI must be someone who follows faithfully the rules and principles of the Department of Justice and who sets the right example for our law enforcement officials and others in the department. Therefore, I must recommend that you remove Director James B. Comey Jr. and identify an experienced and qualified individual to lead the great men and women of the FBI. Sincerely, Jeff Sessions, Attorney General. And this one comes from Memorandum for the Attorney General from Rod Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General. Subject, and this is the subject line, okay? Restoring public confidence in the FBI, as if it were, gone. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has long been regarded as our nation's premier federal investigative agency. Over the past year, however, the FBI's reputation and credibility have suffered substantial damage, and it has affected the entire Department of Justice. That is deeply troubling to many department employees and veterans, legislators, and citizens. The current FBI director is an articulate and persuasive speaker about leadership and the immutable principles of the Department of Justice. He deserves our appreciation for his public service. As you and I have discussed, however, I cannot defend the director's handling of the conclusion of the investigation of Secretary Clinton's emails, and I do not understand his refusal to accept the nearly universal judgment that he was mistaken. Almost everyone agrees that the director made serious mistakes. it is one of the few issues that unites people of diverse perspectives. The director was wrong to usurp the Attorney General's authority on July 5th, 2016, and announce his conclusion that the case should be closed without prosecution. It is not the function of the director to make such an announcement. At most, the director should have said the FBI had completed its investigation and presented its findings to federal prosecutors. The director now defends his decision by asserting that he believed Attorney General Loretta Lynch had a conflict. But the FBI director is never empowered to supplant federal prosecutors and assume command of the Justice Department. There is a well-established process for other officials to step in when a conflict requires the recusal of the Attorney General. On July 5th, however, the director announced his own conclusions about the nation's most sensitive criminal investigation without the authorization of duly appointed Justice Department leaders. Compounding the error, the director ignored another long-standing principle. We do not hold press conferences to release derogatory information about the subject of a declined criminal investigation. Derogatory information sometimes is disclosed in the course of criminal investigations and prosecutions, but we never release it gratuitously. The director laid out his version of the facts for the news media as if it were a closing argument, but without a trial. It is a textbook example of what federal prosecutors and agents are taught not to do. In response to skeptical questions at a congressional hearing, the director defended his remarks by saying that his, quote, goal was to say what is true, what we did do, what we did find, what we do think about it, close quote. But the goal of federal criminal investigation is not to announce our thoughts at a press conference. The goal is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to justify a federal criminal prosecution. Then allow a federal prosecutor who exercises authority delegated by the Attorney General to make a prosecutorial decision, and then, if prosecution is warranted, let the judge and jury determine the facts. We sometimes release information about closed investigations in appropriate ways, but the FBI does not do it sua sponte. Concerning his letter to the Congress on October 28, 2016, the director cast his decision as a choice between whether he would speak, quote unquote, about the FBI's decision to investigate the newly discovered email messages or conceal it, quote unquote. Quote, conceal, unquote, is a loaded term that misstates the issue. When federal agents and prosecutors quietly open a criminal investigation, we are not concealing anything. We are simply following the long-standing policy that we refrain from publicizing non-public information. In that context, silence is not concealment. My perspective on these issues is shared by former attorneys general and deputy attorneys general from different eras and both political parties. Judge Lawrence Siebelman, who served as deputy attorney general under President Ford, wrote that it is not the Bureau's responsibility to opine on whether a matter should be prosecuted. Siebelman believes that the director's performance was so inappropriate for an FBI director that he doubts the Bureau will ever completely recover. Janice Gorelick, Deputy Attorney General under President Clinton, joined with Larry Thompson, Deputy Attorney General under President George W. Bush, to opine that the director had chosen personally to restrike the balance between transparency and fairness, departing from the department's traditions. They concluded that the director violated his obligation to preserve, protect, and defend the traditions of the department and the FBI. Former Attorney General Michael Mulcahy, who served under President George W. Bush, observed that the director stepped away outside of his job in disclosing the recommendation in that fashion because the FBI director doesn't make that decision. Alberto Gonzales, who also served as Attorney General under President George W. Bush, called the decision an error in judgment. Eric Holder, who served as Deputy Attorney General under President Clinton and Attorney General under President Obama, said that the director's decision was incorrect. It violated long-standing Justice Department policies and traditions, and it ran counter to guidance that I put in place 4 years ago, laying out the proper way to conduct investigations during an election season. Holder concluded that the director broke with these fundamental principles and said negatively affected public trust quote, negatively affected public trust in both the Justice Department and the FBI. Former Deputy Attorneys General Gorelick and Thompson described the unusual events as real-time, raw-take transparency taken to illogical limit, a kind of reality TV of a federal criminal investigation that is antithetical to the interests of justice. Donald Ayer, who served as Deputy Attorney General under President George H.W. Bush, along with other former federal Justice Department officials, was astonished and perplexed by the decision to break with long-standing practices followed by officials of both parties during past elections. Ayer's letter noted, perhaps most troubling, is the precedent set by this department from the department's widely respected nonpartisan traditions. We should reject the departure and return to the traditions. Although the president has the power to remove the FBI director, the decision should not be taken lightly. This is not me. This is still reading the letter, okay? I agree with the nearly unanimous opinions of former department officials. The way the director handled the conclusion of the email investigation was wrong. As a result, the FBI is unlikely to regain public and congressional trust unless it has a director who understands the gravity of the mistakes and pledges never to repeat them. Having refused to admit his errors, the director cannot be expected to implement the necessary corrective actions. And that concludes the letter. So, I now am curious to actually go back and find out if each one of these deputy attorney generals and attorney generals specifically said all of what was reported. However, it sounds like to me that, you can read this two ways. Lots of comments here. Yeah, Maryland, the whole thing is crazy. There are a lot of comments here. But you can read this two ways. You can say that basically Donald Trump wanted Comey out, and Hillary Clinton's complaint and Eric Holder's observation gave him the appropriate cover to do so, knowing that he was being investigated. Or you can say that they felt there was enough sufficient rancor to make this move. Regardless, it's a bad move because Trump is under investigation. And as a number of news organizations have pointed out, it's quite interesting in the letter that Donald Trump, the letter from the Trump White House directly to Comey, that President Trump would note that he was informed that he was not being investigated. Well, this ought to change that. Let me get some of your comments here. Let's see. Tanner Adams says 45 removed, being Donald Trump. Mook Preet Bharara and Sally Yates also. They were also leading investigations into connections to Russia. Yeah, it's kind of like he's picking off. It's like a murderer's row of people that are investigating him. You know, it's like House of Cards in reality. But instead of someone getting killed, they're getting fired, right? So And Comey says, well, it's okay when you help us, but not okay when you tell on us. This excuse for firing him is stupid. Tanner Adams says Jeff Sessions, who has recused himself from Russia investigations, now will have the duty of appointing the new director of the FBI. Yeah, think about that one. Barry Lee says the last time anything like this happened, when was Nixon was president and he had to resign? Later, that's correct. I came up with what's left says, is the new FBI director David Duke? Oh, it wouldn't surprise me after everything else is going on here. Marlon A says Trump will now hire a new director of FBI who will cover up for him. That's going to be interesting, and let's see here. We've got, thank you for the moderation, Barry Lee, much appreciated. And Tanner Adams said, oh, you sent the screenshot. Okay, thank you very much. Let me see where that screenshot, if I can call that up right now and show it to everybody. And let's see here. Unless it went into the spam file, I don't have it. Spam 14. I do. Yep, Fox News graphic. Let's see here. Not spam. Okay, now I'm going back here to there, and I should have the email. And for some particular reason I don't. That's wild. I have it. Maybe it's in transition. Let's see here. Scroll down a little bit more here. All mail. Spam is 13. And it is wild. I don't have it. Thank you very much for sending that. When that comes through, I'll call it up a little bit later. And we'll go from there. But for some particular reason, oddly, that has not come through. And wait a minute, wait a second. Okay, it says sent from my iPad, but there's no graphic in the email. I know you intended to put one there. I'm just saying it's not there. There's no attachment. There's nothing there. It just says school email, Fox News graphic, and maybe you can try that again. Okay, just letting you know. Thank you very much for the effort. Now, let's see here. We've got, thank you for trying that again. The Pine Tree says there's background noise that is making it difficult to hear you. No background noise coming through. Let me see, let me turn up this and see what's going on. And see if I can, and yeah, I know, let's see. Oh, I hear that. I don't know, that's weird. It's like this clicking. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. That is odd. Let me try something here. Let's see if I move this. Is the phone near a speaker? It is. Yeah, it actually, the speaker's not on though. In fact, it's. Let me try something here. I mean, no, the speaker is on. It's got a green light. Let me put this over here. Let's see if that works. That is a bit of a dicey proposition there. Hold on a second. I need to try something else. Try turning this off. Let's see. Let's see if it goes away. You still hear it? I still hear something. That is interesting. Now, I don't know where that's coming from. But I'm going to try. I know one thing. I'm going to try killing this. And that could be the feedback, right? But at any rate, you all can hear me, right? So I'm just going to go from here and say, it says, doesn't matter if it's on or off, the magnetism is causing it. I'm wondering, it might be from the stand I'm using. See this? There's a stand that I'm employing here. But, yeah. If that's the case, let me try this. If the stand is causing that, let that's too bad. At least, is it gone now? I'm going to try the old-fashioned way. Is it gone now? Is it gone now? Is that gone? Is it? Let's see here. No? Nope, there's no fan on up here. So, okay. Wow. In fact, I don't hear a thing. That's interesting. Another beat. So another video I did had the same feedback. It's louder? Wow, that's interesting. Let me try. There's nothing on here. That's really odd. Let me try something else here. Let's see here. Aliens originating. It would not be the first time. Let me see something here. I wonder if it's that down there. How's that? It could be the phone itself. It could be. But I've never had that happen with the phone before, so don't think that's the case. But you know what? The show must go on, so it could either be that or Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna try something else here that may mitigate the matter. I'm good though? Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It could just be being upstairs here, more than anything. And, I just have to say that maybe that's it. And I'll just have to go with that. Okay, I'm just going to set it right back to where it was, right here, and just keep going forward. Because I know that I apologize for that. I don't know what's causing it, but I'm going to try something else. Let me know. Okay, does that do anything? It's okay as we can hear you. You just can't deal with it. Can you do anything? Because I had the phone plugged in the computer for power. That didn't do anything? Okay. Well, yeah, that's really wild. I don't know what's causing that at all. I believe, I'm going to try one more alteration in this and see if that does the trick. Here, right here. So that makes a change in things. Right over here. There. Let's see. Any difference? A lot better? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. There's a computer over here. Maybe just the electronics, right? But that's good to note. And so it's like a small fan noise. Okay. It's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, there's no fan on. I mean, there's nothing on, It's better in this direction. Okay, cool. I'll note this and keep this here, and then all I'll do is also move the computer. Thank you. And I'll move the computer so that it is closer to this, so I can plug it in so I'm not losing power, okay, because I have this plugged in, and then I can go back to discussing it. Boy, having to rearrange things in mid-show, such is life. But at any rate, thank you. The bottom line is I'm glad you all informed me of that. Never happened before. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Thankfully, it's not the tripod's fault. You can see, keep it steady, and then put this over here, and then put this over here, and then I'll plug this in here like so, and we'll continue. Okay. So, and we'll continue. There we are. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Now, thank you. Now. All right. Oh, as you can see, officially, this is not my bedroom, okay? Just letting you know, this is an office. For those of you who, in the past, wondered about, this setup, this is an office. This is a true office. So, there we go. Now, Barry Lee says, yeah, Trump is getting rid of people who threaten to uncover Russia ties. Now, what I want to think about, what I want to look at here, see if I got any more emails from the White House and the press pool. I've got media advisory for Thursday press conference on, that's public defender, and nothing else from the White House. or from the White House press pool. That's been it. Nothing, no updates, and no response to my email just yet. Um, let's see. The White House tweeted, POTUS announces judicial candidate nominations. Okay, that just came from the White House. Just popped up about a second ago. Get this, folks. President Donald J. Trump announces judicial candidate nominations. And basically, this is his effort to fill federal judgeships, okay? So more news to cover up what he did. Let's go back to what he, meaning President Trump, has done regarding in the face of history. All right. So we'll say Attorney General. I'm picking this up. Attorney General Nixon fired. Get a little background here. We got it was called, the Richard Nixon action was called the Saturday Night Massacre, okay? And according to the New York Times of the day, and it's actually on Twitter, on Wikipedia, it's called the Saturday Night Massacre, excuse me. And it basically goes like this. It explains that, excuse me, there we go. It explains that the Saturday Night Massacre was the term used by political commentators to refer to U.S. President Richard Nixon's dismissal of independent special counsel Archibald Cox, and as a result, the resignations of Attorney General Elliot Richardson and Deputy Attorney General William Ruckelshaus on October 20th, 1973. Okay, so you have to go back that far to find a comparable action, and so this you might call the Tuesday evening massacre. Well, the Tuesday afternoon massacre. Yeah, there it is. The Tuesday afternoon massacre. And basically, on the following day, what happened is that Nixon ordered Elliot Richardson, to fire Cox. And Richardson refused, and he resigned in protest. Nixon then ordered Deputy Attorney General William Ruckelshaus to fire Cox. He refused and resigned, okay? And so then Nixon ordered the Solicitor General, Robert Bork, acting as head of the Justice Department, to fire Cox. Both Richardson and Ruckelshaus had given personal assurances to congressional oversight committees that they would not interfere, but Bork had not. And Bork later claimed that he believed Nixon's order to be valid and appropriate, and he still considered resigning to avoid being perceived as a man who did the president's bidding to save his job. So, in that context, we have to ask the question, who in this, what's the real story here? And who was it that, oh, you resent the graphic? Okay. I gotta find this graphic, by the way. Who was it that actually did that? Now, let's see here. Crawford says Trump definitely used the cover your, what Earth method. Cover your, what. It starts with an N to rhyme with mask. Thank you very much. Now let me go to this screenshot because I'm dying to see this, and I'm sure so are you. And don't tell me it went back into my spam file again. Doggone it. Spam 14. Second attempt. Aha. Second attempt that came through. And I will open it with preview, and then I will turn you around so that you can have a look at this. And it's going to be opening in seconds. And once it's open, I will bring you around and then flip the camera so you can see what Tanner sent. Thank you very much, by the way. And so, so here we go. And waiting for the photo to come up. And what's going on here? Image. Found it. Wow, take a look at this, folks. Tanner, this is interesting. Thank you very much. Take a look at this. James Comey resigns. Are you kidding me?
James Comey resigns. That's Fox News. That's Fox News. Fox equals fake news. James Comey resigns. I mean, are you
Are you kidding me? I'm gonna put that on Twitter right now. Thank you very much, Tanner. That is the find of the day. You're the man. I gotta get something special for you. That's thank you so very much. I mean, you are the man. This is unbelievable. I mean, can you believe that? Thank you. I'm writing thank you. Thank you, Tanner. Thank you very much. Wow. And let me. That is something else. Oh, Marlon says they can get fired, but can they also be called upon to testify? Folks, still right? Yeah, they can be. Yeah, there's no, as I understand it, rule that would leave them untouchable in that way. Anyway, the Pine Tree says New York Times clearly elaborated on how Comey was terminated. I'll check that out. Now, Tanner Adams says, my pleasure. But hey, Pine Tree, don't you think that President Trump used the Hillary Clinton complaint as kind of a reason, a raison d'etre to take this action when really he was trying to cover himself? And when you look at the trail of people that have been fired to date, doesn't that look that way? Just curious. Now, I want to take this tweet. Yeah, see, I do too. You know, I mean, it really looks. It looks like, as it was said, cover your you know what. I'm taking the link here and I'm putting it on Twitter, and it does look that way, Barry. It really does. But what do we do? I mean, this man is our president, and it's like every time we turn around, there's something he does that undermines not just his credibility, talking about President Trump, but undermines the integrity of the office of the President of the United States and the respect of the office of the President of the United States. And I'm shocked that there's no legal way we have out of this. You know, like recall the president, you know? We don't have a recall system. There was talk of having like a national initiative process. We don't have anything like that. Are we really stuck like that, absent impeachment? That's what's so shocking about this, you know? That we feel that we feel stuck, okay? Stuck. I'm putting this live stream. It says Fox News says Comey resigned. And this is hilarious. You can't make this stuff up. You just cannot make this stuff up. You can't. Now, I'm putting this out again, and I'll get back to, there it is. And this is out on Twitter as of right now. And I'll show you. Tanner, this is your handiwork. Thank you very much. Take a look, my friend.
Right there. See that? Right on Twitter.
If you see it, retweet, please. Thank you. Something else. Yeah, eat your heart out, Nixon. Boy, you know, Nixon's got to be laughing from the grave at this. Grave error in judgment on the part of Donald Trump in this move that's just out of this world, shocking. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know how I can say unbelievable enough. Let me see if I've got any more from the White House press pool. Dan says, mood. It was, this is from Dan Friedman from the Hearst Washington Bureau answering my email, thanking him for sending me the letters. And he says, "Mood? Question mark. It was a very quiet day, till it wasn't. I'm not at White House every day, but I'm sure this is business as usual for the regulars." Too funny. Business as usual for the regulars. Oh, that is absolutely hilarious. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh gosh. And now we get, you know, I get a fundraising letter from Eric Stallwell, congressman, and everyone's using this in a different way to raise money. You know, they got the funky fake Trump email, I guess it was. That was the fundraiser. That was hilarious too. Let me go back to your comments here. Let's see here. Northern Cal, hey, liberals, we don't have that here, Northern Cal. So I'm gonna block you. Sorry about that, because that's not. Yeah, I'm gonna block you. Okay. And the only reason I'm blocking you, NorCal, is because I don't want to have that kind of argument here. I mean, there's no reason to argue per se, and I don't know how it started, but I would very much appreciate not having. I mean, I don't need traffic so bad that I'll allow anybody to argue like that. Sorry, that's not the way it works here, at all. So, Barry Lee had said, "No, people hate Trump because he's lying to us." Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. It's not a. You know, I never thought for once this was a race issue. This is a matter of power. You know the old saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? And that's what we're dealing with. I forgot who created that term, but it's true. I first heard the term in Star Trek. Absolute power, the original series. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Nothing could be further. That nothing could be more true. And yeah, Barry is right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Barry said, "And did you hear where Ivanka husband Cyril on tape saying welcome to America group of Chinese investors, which is like a deal?" I didn't see that. Wow. Now the Pine Tree says from emolument issues to conclusion to Northern NATO violations with the current administration, it boggles my mind. And let me say something, folks. I'm not advocating you agree or be a Trump fan, okay? What I'm saying is, if you come here directly to attack another person, just don't do that. Make your point to us. You know, it's a case-by-case basis. If the gentleman had come on and his initial comments were less incendiary, when I looked at them, I would have said, okay, fine, whatever, what's your point? As regulars here know, I have no issue with anybody who disagrees, as long as you do so respectfully. But whenever I see that there's going to be an uptick in exchange, here's why I'm this way. I don't want somebody to consider going after somebody else based on a conversation here. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I want simpatico, and that's the idea. And that can be done and still disagree. We can do that. Okay, we can do that. So what we got? The Pine Tree says even more he is unorthodox in his leadership and ad hoc in his decisions. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he is. And so the then says thank you for dumping. Oh, hey, Crawford 371. Actually, I did that. That wasn't Barry. I took that action. Okay, that wasn't Barry who did. That was me. I take full credit for such action. So, and yeah, that was me. That was me. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Crawford, how you doing? Let's see if there's any more reaction on this from the White House other than what the fellow from Hearst said. And I don't see anything. The tweets have been interesting. I'm trying to get you the more interesting, the stuff that you can't get if you're not on the White House press list, right? So that's what I'm trying to read to you. And I'm going to have to stop this soon because this is a special one. And I've got to go downstairs and deal with other things. Donald Richardson, how are you? Donald says, I think he should have been timed out, not banned. Okay, that's Donald Richardson. I think you're right, and maybe I think it's possible to unban someone, right? I just reacted. Okay, I just reacted. I think he's gone. But I think you can unban somebody, can't you? It probably doesn't matter. He's probably gone. But the bottom line is, moving along, is Trump trying to be impeached? I don't think Trump. I think Trump. Here's what I think. Trump made a mistake in assuming he had full power to basically get in bed with Vladimir Putin and Russian operatives and try openly to fix the election, although he didn't see it that way. And then when it was brought to him that, hey, this is who you're dealing with and this is what this looks like, and by the way, we have evidence here, 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 and here, then Trump started first knocking off people. Have you noticed how Stephen Bannon has been pushed to the sidelines, and Kellyanne Conway, the people who are the lightning rods of the administration, have been dampened down so that you don't bring more unwanted attention to them, to the administration. You notice that? So Donald Trump has basically taken this activity going bam, 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 bam. It's like whack-a-mole. Yeah, that's it. Donald Trump plays whack-a-mole. That's what this is. That's what this is. Let's see, American Idol. I love it. I just wonder if Ryan Seacrest can handle the double duty of being on Live with Kelly and then American Idol, because American Idol is American Idol is like it's twice a week, right? 2 or 3 times a week. It used to be daily, right? But the bottom line is, I think it's like Dancing with the Stars. It's like 2 nights. We'll see if he can handle that grind. He probably can. But, I mean, hey, they're paying him. Tanner says, Zinni, I gotta run. Thank you, Tanner. I'm glad to be. Tanner been yeoman level of service. Thank you so much. Or yo woman. Tanner is one of those names. I don't know if you're a man or woman, but that doesn't matter. I was just saying thank you. And Donick says, where's the outrage? I think the problem is that we are so bombarded with so many messages of extreme actions and violence that I fear that we're desensitized to this sort of thing. And I say fear because it means that if we're desensitized to this, we can be manipulated. And if we can be manipulated, then Trump has won. That's a very good question. Where's the outrage here? And that's an answer I don't have. And so Citron said, it says, yes, you can. You did it before. And then Barry Lee says, sometimes 3 times a week. I think you're talking American Idol. Okay, I get it. And I get it. Hey, so folks, it's 8:05. I'll be back at 11:30 with the live stream featuring, that's right, Godfather Gwiz, and what promises to be another lively conversation tonight. Donald Richardson says, I hate that the president and I share the same name. Every time I go somewhere or walk in a room, I have to disarm people's vibes. That's hilarious. Donald Richardson and Donald Trump. Well, RST. Okay, you are close in the alphabet. All right. Hey, thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in on this special live stream. And make sure you have a chance to click on the link and read all the president's letters and leave your comments in the area below. Thank you so very much, and I'll see you at 11:30 Eastern tonight, 8:30 Pacific. Thank you so much. Thank you.